Kami faham nak berniaga ni mencabar. Tahu tak perniagaan anda boleh dipasarkan secara percuma di Cari @Unify. Perniagaan anda kekal beroperasi 24 jam dan meluas ke seluruh kejiranan agar lebih ramai pelanggan menemui anda dan berhubung terus secara langsung. Sertai Cari @Unify sekarang dan kembangkan perniagaan anda.
As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected a lot of businesses out there globally. In Malaysia, particularly the SMEs, the brick and mortar businesses have been very badly affected as well. On that note, I think Engine Mailer, we are here to provide solutions to help smaller businesses transform and become more digital. Hi, my name is Jeffrey. I'm the Fleet Commander of Engine Mailer. Let's go together with uBC.
So this past year, we've been really focusing a lot on our digital marketing side. It's different than social media where you don't really know who you are communicating with. But with email marketing, you can target it to that individual customer.
We have to be very creative in terms of how we reach out to new customers and our existing customers. And from newsletters, that's how we know the pattern of our customers.
Hi, I'm Shazana.
And I'm Anis.
We're co-founders of Whimsy Girl. Let's
Grow together with uBC.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Welcome to Sembang Business Series ke-10. Saya Shaliza dari Unify SME and hari ini kamu bawakan bersama kami Jeff dari Engine Mailer dan Anis dari Whimsy Girl untuk membincangkan topik How effective is email marketing in 2021 for businesses like you. Sebelum tu, kepada sesiapa yang masih baru to Unify Business Club, selamat datang. Unify Business Club ataupun lebih dikenali dengan nama glamour uBC adalah komuniti perniagaan dari Unify yang membawakan kepada anda semua a complete business solution untuk memaju perniagaan anda ke hadapan secara digital. Dan sekiranya anda adalah pelanggan Unify, tak kira fiber, mobile ataupun broadband, anda akan menjadi member uBC secara automatik. Dan banyak faedah yang anda akan enjoy. For example, kita ada financial solutions, productivity tools dan marketing solution termasuklah dari Engine Mailer untuk membantu digitize perniagaan anda. So head on to theunify.com.my/business/UBC to find out more. Okay, before we start, if you have any business questions to ask the panels, please submit in the comment box below. If your questions are picked to be answered live, you can stand a chance to walk away with goodies from Engine Mailer or Whimsy Girl. So for those who want to learn tips and how to create highly engaging email marketing strategies for a business, today is your day. Exclusive for viewers of Sembang Business, register for this e-workshop that will take place on 9th of June in the link shared in the comment box below. And it's limited seats only. All right. So without further ado, let's start. So let us welcome Anis and Jeff.
Hi guys. Hello everyone. Hi, how are you?
Hi. So how are you?
Very well, thank you.
All right. That's good. That's good to know. And today we have these two amazing people with us. So Anis and Jeff. And topik kita pada hari ini adalah adakah email marketing masih efektif? Dan bersama kita ada dua orang yang sangat berpengalaman dalam email marketing. But before we move on to our topic, let us introduce and get to know more about our panelists for today. So kita ada Jeff ataupun Jeffrey Shahul Hamid, and he's a seasoned digital enthusiast and technology entrepreneur. And he has almost 2 decades of on-ground experience. Jeff has helped businesses to solve their challenges using technology. And Jeff is the founder of Tenure Group of Companies, which focuses into consulting, UI, UX, and software development services, as well as email solutions. And these businesses serve retail and corporate clients locally and regionally. And okay, Jeff ni sangat dia punya designation ni sangat amazing because he's also known as a fleet commander of engine mailer. Fleet commander tu jangan main, alright. And he spends his free time advocating continuous learning and personal development. And he's always happy to discuss about his cause over a cup of tea. So welcome, Jeff. To Sembang Business.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for those kind words. I feel so old with the introduction, with this whole digital age, right? Anyway, thank you. Hi, Daniel, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you, uBC, for having us. I really like this kind of sharing session. So maybe a little bit of introduction. So my name is Jeffrey. I'm the fleet commander of Engine Mailer. So this is more like a fun brand that we are trying to build, or what we're building right now. So what is Engine Mailer? It is an email marketing cloud service. It's an online service. So we help people to communicate better with all of your customers using email. So I think a lot of people think it's very simple, but I think to do emails, you need to have proper database management, and a lot of easy tools for you to engage better with your audience. We are proud to be a Malaysian company, and I think we're here putting in all of our efforts to help all the Malaysian companies out there, more so now with the pandemic. So how we can help you do that transformation. I think that's a little bit about Engine Mailer.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jeff, for the introduction. It's really amazing because I think email marketing is definitely very crucial for us to engage, especially our existing customers, so that we'll be able to share a lot more about our solutions and services to the customers, so that we can help the customers in a better way. All right, and another one more is Anis, Ahmad Anis is the founder of Whimsy Girl. And the brand is cultivating a movement of everyday girls from diverse groups and walks of life. And their clothes are inclusive collections for all everyday girls. But I'm already dah tua, so maybe not for me. Tapi I'm still like young at heart lah, kalau macam tu kan. So there is a creative girl, the corporate girl, the minimalistic girl, the girly girl, the sporty girl. Okay, that's me. Okay, the expectant mom, the nursing moms. Okay, so basically it's for every girl out there. So welcome, Anis. So maybe you want to share a few words before we start the session.
Hi, thank you, Shariza, for the introduction. My name is Anis. I'm from Whimsy Girl. So basically, Whimsy Girl, we provide solutions for everyday girls to help them dress better and more comfortable. So we make clothes that are not just for occasions, but it's actually usable for everyday wear as well.
Yeah, all right. And then I think what dia punya design dia pun memang sangat inovatif. If you go to the Whimsical punya stores, they're memang creative and innovative, and really for those who are with the lifestyle and so on. All right, okay. So let's start with the first part. Maybe you would like to ask Jeff. So maybe you can share a little bit more on what inspired you to be in this area of service.
Well, okay. Where do we begin right now? So we've been in the email business for almost 2 decades. So we've seen the evolution, when email started, talk about marketing about, 15, 20 years back, the evolution from people just buying databases, loading it into Outlook, sending it out, and then subsequently evolve into people using platforms, more robust systems. And today is all about how you automate stuff, right? So it's been a long way. And traditionally, I think we service a lot of the larger enterprises out there that sends the millions and millions of emails. So along that journey, I think we came across, we do a lot of education and consulting, and I like talking to people about how you can engage using emails. But a lot of them happen to fall into the category where they don't send the millions and millions of emails. So I think we saw an opportunity. There's a huge gap in the market. And so our mission as we go out to promote Engine Mailer is to try to translate all those learnings that we have And trust me, those big companies have the same problems that everyone has right now, right? How we can simplify that and put it into a system where it's going to be easy enough for an average person to use and affordable enough for everyone out there. So you take the analogy of, say, AirAsia had the concept of now everybody can fly. So we're like, now everybody can do email. So it's a benefit for them. I think that's what inspired us to start email.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting analogy that now everyone can email. And I totally agree with you that, doing email marketing, especially when you send out emails to lots of people, it's going to be it's a very humongous task. But with Engine Mailer, definitely it helps to simplify those tasks. And with one click, it's a lot easier to send to a lot more people and so on. Yeah, so that's really, really amazing. Okay, maybe to Anis. What about you? What makes you start your business? And maybe you can share how COVID-19 has affected your business as a whole.
Yeah, from Whimsical, right? It actually started as more of a hobby. So my wife Shazana started sewing for fun and making clothes for friends and family. But then as time goes on, suddenly like more and more people are interested in it, right? So it kind of like grew organically from there, and slowly like, okay, more people are asking about it, so let's expand. And suddenly now, like 6-7 years later, we have like a full grown business, right? So it was a very organic kind of growth for us. It wasn't planned that we're going to start, okay, let's do clothes, right? It kind of like all happened by accident, right? But I guess once we started, initially in the business, like once we started, we can see that, okay, there's a gap here where a lot of users are underserved in the clothing line, right? So that's why we focus our efforts into.
I see. Okay, that's a very inspiring story because it started from a hobby. So basically, when you have the passion, it's a lot easier for people to grow and to see successes. So maybe you can share as well how COVID-19 has impacted your business as a whole. Whether whether the demands for the clothes are still there, and how do you manage and so on. Maybe you can share a little bit more.
Yeah. For us, I think like we were very lucky that we are a 100% online company.
Oh, okay.
So we do not have any brick and mortar locations.
Mm-hmm.
So although there was an impact, we do see slower growth, but it was not too bad that there was no growth at all. So we are still expanding. It's just not as fast as we projected a year ago. Right?
I see.
So that was kind of like a blessing in disguise where we are 100% online.
Yeah, I think online definitely helps a lot of people because then it's a lot easier for people to to order and so on without having to go to the stores. Yeah, definitely that's a really good blessing because you're already on board online. Yeah, so maybe to Jeff, maybe you can share a bit more. Right, your business plays a very big role in digital marketing. And digital marketing is like the trend, the buzzword for today, right? So how effective is email marketing now in 2021 as compared to many digital marketing solutions out there? And what's the impact like when we use the digital marketing?
Okay. Yeah, I think when we go to the context of digital marketing, it's not just email marketing. Today, you talk about social media, you talk about your SMS, you talk about WhatsApp, you talk about your website and search engine optimization to drive the traffic, right? So I typically categorize this into two main compartments. The first one is the awareness building. Everybody has got it. A lot of people get the misconception that when I do an online business and all of a sudden I'm going to flourish, people are going to come to my shop. So similar like how you run an offline business, you need to tell people about your online shop, right? So that's where the awareness, you shout about it on Facebook, you start sharing, you pay for ads, you spend countless time writing blogs on your website so that, Google, somebody searches, they come to your website. So all that is, I think a lot of resource needs to be put in to market your website. So the next part, I think, is once they have come to your website or come to your online store, the whole idea is to ask them for their email. Very common. Can I have your email? Give you 10% discount on your first purchase. Because the whole idea with email marketing, it is very targeted. So it comes from the standpoint that when you have someone's email, you have them for life. You're not relying on Facebook to talk to them anymore or anything else, right? And the saying that goes that it's a lot easier to sell to an existing customer. So it's also a lot easier to sell to someone that already knows about your brand and knows what you're doing, right? So the email journey technically starts there. Once you've got the email address, of course, you might ask them for some other data, their name, their mobile phone number, for all other digital things. But I think email at the end of the day is still very relevant today in context to all of the other digital tools that you have out there. But what matters most is, I think, the execution. How do you execute this email? So say 5 years ago, even in Malaysia, right? People believe in quantity over quality. Oh, I've got 1 million email size, or I managed to, the black hat ones would say, I bought 2 million emails. Let me just spam them and hopefully someone would buy it from me, right? So today is all about the quality. It doesn't matter if you have no database. I mean, it's very common, but you got to start somewhere, start building that list and start engaging with them. There's so many things you talk to your consumers about on email. It might be, by the way, Anis, I signed up to your website as well. You've got some really nice.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
It's good because to see, it is not very difficult to do this, but you just need to go through. It's like an equation. You just follow steps 1 to 10 and you get it right?
Yes.
So email is still very relevant, but it needs to work in hand with all of the other digital tools that you have out there. So today, I think if I may just summarize what emails are being used for, we're all very used to marketing promotions email. Like Shaliza, you mentioned earlier, you click a button and it goes to 100,000 people or 10,000 people, whatever your base is. But the trend that we see today is people are using more emails for automation and transactional. So if you sign up to a website, they say thank you for signing up. So that is a transaction email, or you do a purchase, or there's a lot more intelligence. If someone looks at a product, then they don't buy it, then you have reminders to go in. So emails are used not only for the general mass kind of activation avenues, but also transactional based type of communication. So that's one trend. So I think we just need to be wary of how we implement that as part of the business.
All right. Okay. I think what Jeff has mentioned is very, very crucial to everyone. So basically, we now know that email is not only just about sending to the mass, but also there's a lot of functions to email. So there's about transaction, reminders, and so on. And it's also about engagement, creating better relationship with customers, and so on. So definitely, email is one of the ways to go for digital marketing. And so maybe Anis, maybe you can share a bit more how email marketing has helped you in your business, because you mentioned that you are fully online, and maybe you can share what are also the must-have digital solutions to run your business successfully, because now that you're on digital, full digital. So really looking forward to hear from you on.
I think like as Jeff mentioned, like email is a very important part of our marketing efforts. It's for us because we get to be directly in the user's inbox, right? Unlike Instagram or Facebook, where you're not sure if your followers are seeing your posts, right? So if you have 100,000 followers, maybe up to 10 or 20,000 views. But you have 100,000 emails, it will be sent to 100,000 people, right? So you get to be directly in the inbox of your list. But as we mentioned earlier, like emails are just not for sales. You have to cultivate your audience, right? So it's more about brand story, taking them on a journey so that they understand you and they are interested in you. So it's just not about, okay, I have a product and buy it. So you can do that once in a while, but it's also about taking them and making them understand the brand. So people who understand you, and when you provide value to them, they are more likely to open your emails and more likely to come to your website, right? So it works together with your social media and what you post online, then everything comes into one package and it comes as a full story, right? So it doesn't work independently. You have to find a strategy that works, that combines everything together.
All right, I see. So basically what you're saying is that it's a total package together. So like email is one of it, and then together with social media and so on. So it's in totality, so that we can move from one approach to another approach to engage customers, and also about creating personalization and creating that storyboarding to the customers. I totally agree with you.
And with like email that you can, if you have a database, you kind of know like who are your top spending customers, who are the low spending customers, so you can actually target different emails for different customers. If you know you have a list of loyal customers, you can send a different email to them. Like for us, we always say that any new products will be released to subscribers first. So we know who are our top purchasers, so we'll offer them the new products first before we offer the general public. So that's a way to get more people engaged in your emails and actually open them up.
Yeah, basically to create more advocates and so on. More people, so more loyal customers and better engagement. Yeah, totally agree with you on that one.
If I may add on that, Charliza, right? I think in emails or any digital platform is all about the reporting and analytics that come with it, right? So whilst you know it's not a broad reporting anymore, it might sound scary to the listeners out here, but everything you do on email is tracked, right? I know exactly who opened the email, what time, using what device, which hyperlinks they click onto. So if you start mapping this data with who your loyal customers are, your targeting can be very precise, and your conversion rates, most importantly, can be tweaked, be very high.
Agree. And I think that's the beauty of having email. Like you mentioned about the analytics and about improving the conversion rate, because sometimes we do not really know customers, we don't know the behavior of our customers. It's a bit difficult for us to do more personalized targeting. But like you mentioned, when we know which link they click and what's the click-through rate and so on, then we'll be able to design better campaigns in the future, and that can create a better conversion rate in the future. Yeah, totally agree with you, and that's very relevant to the SMEs today, especially because to the SMEs, we really need to make sure that kita boleh engage our customers in a better way, especially in today's environment, COVID, where kita punya customer macam tak dapat nak go to the store and so on. So having a digital marketing using email, for example, can really help to reach the customers in a better way. But before we move forward, to all the viewers, please don't forget to submit your questions to the panels in the comment box below, and register for exclusive e-workshop to create a highly engaging email marketing. We have the QR code in the box and or from the link below, so that you can access that. And because I think creating an engaging email marketing is very important, because kalau kita salah tulis email, nanti orang macam tak nak buka pun. Tapi kalau kita punya topik tu sangat menarik, macam orang tu wish apa ni, terus nak baca, So this e-workshop is very useful. To our viewers today, don't miss the chance to participate in the e-workshop. All right. Okay. So we move on to the next section, the next question. So post MCO, right? So right now we're still in the MCO, masih lagi MCO. Maybe to Jeff and Anis, maybe you can share. Has online world changed your business strategy amidst the current pandemic? Because right now the pandemic has shifted the behavior of people and so on. So maybe are there any changes to your online strategy, and how will it impact your business moving forward? So do you maybe Anis or Jeff can share?
Okay. I'll go first, Anis. Okay.
Sure. All right, sure.
Okay. So our strategy, fortunately, has always been digital. I mean, not only our strategy, but our mission is to get everyone digital. So digital is at the forefront of everything, right? With the COVID and the pandemic and the current change of the general landscape, fortunately for us, we see things in a very positive way. More and more people are signing up, more and more people are using. But I'd like to relate it to the trends in Malaysia, right?
Yeah.
So one of the trends that we see in Malaysia is, number one, good news. There is a sense of more self-service culture. You know, before the pandemic, I think one of the things that we see is a lot of people still like to say, hey, can I hire you to do email marketing for me? Right? So they go after, even it's a simple thing to do, right? But today we see more and more people signing up. I think with technology today, it's so easy, go online, sign up to a new platform and start playing. So our mission becomes, I think, more and more content driven, as in the key here is to educate people. It's not why you need to go digital anymore. It's like how and what is the best way, what are the best practices to do it, right? So self-service is definitely one thing that we see. And the second one is, I think, we feel the users out there are getting more and more, confident in terms of doing the things. So a year ago, if you ask a lot of SMEs out there, it's like, hey, go sign up. They say, "Ayo, it's very difficult, lah. How do I do this?" And today they are a little bit more adventurous, which is good, because going digital is all about an experiment, right? You just need to be. I relate back to even my parents. It took my dad the longest time before he wanted to use the computer. Today he can't live with it, right? But on the other end, I have my mom who still is hesitant on pressing the button, the switch power button on the computer, because she's afraid that something might go wrong, right? So those are the trends that we see, which is very promising. But I guess as for us, a service provider is all about coming up with more exciting ways to actually teach people. I mean, the word is teach, and to guide them on how to get onto this journey. Right?
All right. Thank you so much, Jeff. So basically, you were saying that with the current pandemic situation, people are becoming more adventurous in experimenting, and the current pandemic actually accelerates the digital adoption. The society's digital adoption, and I totally agree with you. Like macam sebelum ni, like we don't even use, for example, like office meetings and so on. It's all face to face, but right now it's all we use Teams and so on to communicate with the rest of our colleagues and so on. And definitely when people are becoming more adventurous and more experimenting in the way, it's a lot easier for us to use the digital marketing solutions to accelerate the adoption of digital marketing solutions as well. And maybe Anis can share a bit more if there are any changes in the business strategy that's driven by the current pandemic situation, and how does it impact your way forward?
Yeah, Shaliza, I think previously the traditional thought is always like brick and mortar first, and then once it's stable, let's explore digital marketing, right? So I think it's kind of flipped for this past year, and everyone's moving towards let's go digital first. And then if all goes well, then we find out about brick and mortar. So especially for smaller businesses, having a physical shop is no longer a necessity unless you are of a certain size, right? So having a digital presence is much more important than having a physical presence, right? So everyone is just jumping on the digital bandwagon. You have to do it now instead of later, no matter how small you are, and start now, right? So from a small company to the biggest company, everyone's like going online. So what are you waiting for?
Right? Yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree that so we need to grab this moment and really jump into the bandwagon and go ahead and do it, and embark on the digital journey for our customers, so that we'll be able to reap the benefits in a better way. Totally agree with you. And at the same time, right now we have got a number of questions already from the audience. So thank you so much from the rest of the audiences. So we have here Aida Malik from Facebook. So the question that we have is, how do you avoid in sending email that cause our audience to be nuisance and then consider our email as junk? So maybe Jeff or Anis would like to share a bit more how to avoid sending emails that can be considered as spam or junk mail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anis, you want to take it first, then I'll fill in the gaps, or you want me to go?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so the question is, how do you avoid sending emails that are marked as spam or junk, right?
Yes, yeah.
So the first is obviously don't buy email lists. Make sure you get consent to send emails to that person, so you know those people are actually interested in your business, right? Secondly, emails are not just about sales. If all your emails are about sales and offers, people kind of get turned off by it. So you have to provide value to the audience. Or value can be not just in terms of sales, it can be also like articles or how-tos or blog posts. It's different things that people will be interested to read and learn about, right? So don't just push sales, I mean, right? So just push a lot more content.
I see. Okay. So content and value is very crucial in making sure that people, when they see your email address, they will not put it in junk mail and so on.
Yeah.
That's totally true.
Yeah.
So maybe Jeff want to share your thoughts as well?
Yeah, so apart from the customer engagement angles, which what Anis has just explained, the customer journeys and the value that we give them, maybe a little bit on the technical side as well. The internet also monitors the emails that you send out. So like if you start buying email addresses, they will know that a lot of people are reporting this as spam. Or you know that's one big alarm. Or a lot of the emails that you send are say bounce, that they don't exist. So too many going to Gmail which are bounce. So by that, Gmail sees you as not a good sender because your engagement rates are low and your dropouts are high. So by virtue of that, then your emails, you might notice that sometimes it goes into inbox or it goes into spam, or all of the time it goes into spam. So there's actually a good way to build your reputation. But another way to look at it is work with reputable email service providers. I mean, Engine Mailer is one of them out there, but there are a lot of other ESPs out there. Generally, they will be able to advise you on what are the do's and what are the don'ts. But again, you always try to have better engagement. You want people to open, you want people to click on your link. So it all goes down to the subject lines of your newsletter, how much personalization you can do, the content. Today content is very simple. You don't have long newsletters that tells you 20, 30 things. It's just very straight to the point, very visually driven and simple. So those are the trends. So long as you keep your engagement rates up, even if you're starting from scratch or used to be a spammer, there are ways to make your reputation good so that the email goes into the inbox, right?
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Jeff. So basically, it's about making sure that when we send, we become the reputable sender, so that the system itself doesn't automatically label us as spammers, right? So basically, we must make sure that our email must have quality and value. So I think that's why the e-workshop is definitely very, very useful, because then we'll be sharing more insights on how we can create more engaging email and not become a spammer. Yeah, totally agree with you. And also having a reputable ESP is very useful. And you are very lucky here, to have Jeff here, the founder of the fleet commander of Engine Mailer, to be here to share with us on all of these tips and on the effective email marketing. All right. So we have another question from Shaz Arifin. So the question is there any way for us to measure the effectiveness of email and come up with data analytics of our email marketing strategy? So perhaps Jeff and Anis will want to share more insights on that as well.
Jeff, I think this is like your area of expertise today.
Right? Okay, so maybe Jeff can share.
The question is so broad, right? So I think an email strategy, I would typically break it into two, right? The first one is to do with your subscriber base. For most of us, there must be a strategy to acquire the base, and there also must be a strategy to grow that base. I think that's one thing that we need to measure, right? So a smaller micro SME might struggle today in terms I only got 5 database, but do not be afraid. So come up with, because you can always look at reports, who signed up from my Facebook, who came in through my microsite, or I ran a form, how many signed up. And over time, you'll start realizing that you're getting more and more base. And now that you know where they're coming from, you know what is the content that it should be sent. That's number one, right? The second performance matrix that I would go for, it's not so much a performance, come up with a calendar of event first, because you can't just use email and say, I send it when I like. Tomorrow I want to have a promotion and I send that email. So you must build a brand awareness to tell them that you are around. Tell your customers you are around. These are the things that you're doing. And once in a while, it can be salesy, but you want people to remember you. But from a measurement standpoint, typically it is about how many emails you send to. So one thing to track is your base must be growing. Number two is to see what are the conversion rates. How many percent open your emails? How many percent click through your emails? Averagely, an open rate for a base is between 8 to 12% kind of range, and click-throughs are around the region of, on average, 2, although we have worked on campaigns where click-throughs are 40%, right? Wow. And once you have this baseline matrices, then our job is basically to sit down, or your job is to understand what is reports, what am I doing wrong, how do I improve this, how do I grow this faster? And how do I convert them into sales, whether or not my content is engaging enough, whether or not you're driving them to the right pages for them to pay you money, right? So it's all about optimizing. But start from an email standpoint, start with the base. So your base should be gradually growing, because there will be some that are opting out and they change email addresses as well. And the second one is how you can monitor to increase the engagement of your email campaigns. Two main pillars to start with.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Jeff. So basically, it's about building your base and also measuring the effectiveness of it. So the conversion and click-through rate. And I'm very impressed because you're able to get 40%, right? 40% click-through, is it? So that one is really, really high.
That's amazing, though, 40%.
Oh, that's really amazing. I'm so impressed by that. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Ultimately, it's how targeted you are, right? So if you might have a 10,000 database, but if you know that this 100 people will like this product, likely you can get an 80% click-through rate.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So it all goes back to, and costs for email execution, if done properly, is still the ROIs are proven. But be careful with that statement, because sending it mass to everyone will not give you that kind of ROI. You need to be very targeted. So the key is to build your base very structured when you begin.
All right. Okay. So basically, we need to understand our customers so that they'll be able to be very focused in the way we target the senders and so on, the respondents,
So to a bit of a fun note on that, if you go to Engine Mailer's website, you'll notice that it's all aliens and spacemen. So I think that the view that we have is our customers are the spacemen, and our customers are the aliens, because we are trying to say that you don't understand your customers. So the key is to understand your customer before you communicate with them.
Yeah, that's a very interesting way of sharing and making people remember it better. So the aliens and spacemen. So you were saying something just now?
No. I think I'm just trying to respect the amount of time that are given to us today.
Okay, sorry. All right, okay. So let's so the next question from Azmal Sajuri. So this one is specific to Jeff. So Jeff is very famous. Anismo also very famous. So Jeff, what are the keywords in the email subject that attracts people to click?
Okay. This is something that we'll definitely cover in that workshop in terms of best practices, right? But I think subject lines, you got to test it against your audience. Number one, there's no winning formula as to what subject line works. But some of the trends we see is try to personalize your subject lines. So if you say that, Anis, this promotion is for you, and somehow someone sees their name amidst the hundreds of emails, there's a higher chance to convert, right? So do as much personalization as possible. Number two is today, I think a lot of people play with those emojis. right? Make subject lines fun, because email is supposed to be, fun at the end of the day, right? So there are many ways that you can put fun things in there. And the third one is, this is to do again to spam. I mean, it's an old rule of thumb. Try not to use words like free and those really hard sell words, because whilst you're trying to sell and you're sending, half your audience will be from Gmail, say Yahoo, Outlook, and all that domains. But the other half will also fall into corporate domains, people with work emails. So when you start putting those words that are sensitive towards their anti-spam filters in the office, you realize that they won't get delivered. So use something very neutral, and I would keep the tone very straight to the point and very friendly. That's how subject matters. And on the note of subject lines, when you look at your emails, there's always a few words that summarizes the content of the email. We call that preview text. So by default, when you do an email, you will just take a few words from your email. But preview text, if you use proper systems, you can actually customize it so they can see it before they open the email. So use that to your advantage as well, because it will just increase your conversions bit by bit. So the idea is 0.5% here, 1% here, 1.2% here, and eventually you are seeing an open rate or click-through rate from 2% to 8%. You're like, wow, and how do I make it better? That's what the whole idea is all about.
Okay.
If I would like to add, I think also it's important to sound like a human, right? Nobody likes to receive emails from robots.
Yeah, true.
So try and sound authentic and be human in your subject line, especially.
So basically, humanizing the email, the emails, right? Yeah, and personalizing. Yeah, totally agree with you. So the next question will be from Aini Amira. So maybe I pose a question to Anis then. So are email marketing still relevant to the younger generation? Because nowadays not many younger people seeing the email. So how can we attract the youngster through this method?
I think it's still very much relevant to everyone. Everyone would still have an email address, right? The perception is that, okay, younger people treat email not as their primary digital communication device. It's true. So that's why it's important that it has to be in a package, right? You have your social media side, your Instagram, your TikTok, whatever, your Twitter and all that. So it has to be combined with your email, right? So you can't have one without the other.
All right, I see. Okay. So thank you. Maybe Jeff, do you want to add as well to Anis?
I agree with what Anis just mentioned. I mean, ultimately, everyone has at least one email account, even the youngsters. I mean, my kids that are they're 6 and 9 years old, they all have one email as well, right? So it's all about sending them the content that they would like to get. Right, so it's about targeting and sending relevancy to them. So if you send something about a game to them, tell me they're not going to read the email. I don't believe it is. In fact, it's going to be probably some rules set up. If it's from this person, please inform me. Right. So the key is to know your audience and send them content that is relevant to them. So even I would say that the younger generations are more digitally savvy than all of us. So certain things can be sent via WhatsApp. Certain things you can promote via Instagram, but there will be things, for example, if they make a payment or it's a renewal reminder or something, they still want to see it on email, because you go to one single interface and you see it for everything. You don't need to start looking for it. And email is still, at the end of the day, very searchable, right? So maybe when they start growing up and start using more emails, it will be more handy, right? Right.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right. So we have two more questions. One is from Wani Azmi. The question is: Is email marketing suitable for all types of businesses? And what is the best way to make sure that the receiver open or click the email? Yeah. So maybe Jeff or Anis would like to share more. So basically,
Okay. Okay, if I may start on this, Anis, I feel email marketing and talk marketing is very relevant to B2C businesses, consumer type businesses. If you are B2B, not so much more the marketing, not so much the marketing side, but the business automation side of things. So that's my personal view, because you need to be able to reach out to a wide audience. So if you're telling me that your customer base is only 100 people, I'll say, let's not waste time with email marketing, just pick up the call and call them. So you must have that foresight. So again, back to where I started, there's a marketing side of things, which is more mass and targeted. For businesses, we are seeing a lot of automations. It's sending of e-statements, sending of renewal notices. If you top up your touch and go today, you get an invoice saying that this transaction has happened. So it's more the automation side of things, right? So I hope that will answer the question that you have, right? Anis, maybe you want to add on it.
Touching on automation, like, agree, but as an SME, I think it's important as well. Where you're a small team and you don't have like 2 or 3 people just focusing on email, you have maybe 1 person focusing on digital marketing as a whole. So it's really important to automate, right? So think of efforts that you do once that will last a long time, right? So you can create very good softwares right now. You can create automations where if someone signs up, you get an email every week for the next year, right? So you only need to create that flow once, and it will last for a whole year and for every single subscribers, right? So it's a lot of effort to do once, but you don't need to kind of repeat it. So automation is key in those kind of things.
Yeah, agree. So basically it's about automation and simplifying the effort so that you can do a lot more and become more productive in managing.
Especially for a small team.
Yeah, totally agree with you. And the last question, because we are running short of time, so it's from Rizal Zulkifli. So the question is how to make an email as personal as a face-to-face communication. Wow, so making it personalized. And maybe Jeff or Anis like to share as well? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll go first.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so the questions are all very broad, so we're trying to summarize it, right? So at the end of the day, you talk about automation is all about understanding your customers and their journeys. So someone who may have come to your website, they might be interested in product A or product B or product C. Let's, for argument's sake, let's take 3 products. So in digital and in email, you know exactly which pages or which are the entry points or which are the forms that they are completed. So those journeys must be very customized or very tailored to the kind of audience that you have, right? So only then that you see the stickiness. And once in a while, you throw in some other thing, right? So the communications, again, every EDM cannot be about sales. It's about telling them about the product, telling them about what this product has done to other people, telling them about success stories, to a point that you're conditioning them to tell them, oh, this is a great product. Right? So I think that's what we use emails for. So it's about constant engagement. I think Anis does that for his online shop as well.
Yeah.
So it's no difference. So if you go to a premier brand, take Gucci, for example, or take one, no, really, when you go shopping, they get your email and they give you this series of emails. But I don't see Whimsical being inferior to any of that. In fact, they're doing it better than a lot of these larger brands, right? So you don't need to be, as you said, it's a one-time. It's a lot of hard work to sit down and figure it out. But when you automate the journey, it's going to be very, on point to who your audiences are going to be.
Yeah, totally agree. And maybe Anis would like to share a bit more to this as well.
Yeah. So the question was like, how do you make it as good as face-to-face, right? So I think you can't compare the two. It's 2 very different animals, right? Face-to-face is very instant. You get what you want, the results right there and then. So you have to think of email as more of a long-term strategy and game, right? It doesn't convert into sales in that instance. So it's more of cultivating your subscribers, your followers into following and believing in your products, right? So it's a long-term game. You don't expect instant results.
Yeah.
So that once you convert those subscribers, they will be loyal to you, right?
Yeah, true. All right. Okay, so basically,
sorry, just a quick one. I know we're short of time. We do a hybrid model just to share with the audiences out there. A hybrid. So while emails are being automated, we also put a blend of phone calls or other outreach methods to the customers out there. So for example, I know that you've done something, so let me try to call you and see how I can help you out. That's another way that so not purely digital, but you must mix a bit of human intervention as part of your journeys as well.
Yeah, so having a hybrid approach in digital and also the conventional method to make sure that we are more humanized in the way we do things. Yeah, totally agree. So basically, we have the 6 questions. So we would like to thank everyone for those questions. Unfortunately, we're unable to answer the rest of them. And maybe Jeff and Anis will answer the rest of the questions in the Facebook comment after the session. And congratulations to the 6 winners. So we have Azma Sajuri, Wani Azmi, Shaf Arifin, Aini Amiro, Muhammad Riza Zulkifli, and Aida Malik. All right, congratulations to all of you. And our team at uBC will contact you through DM for the goodies. And maybe we're coming to the last part of the session. So before we end, maybe Anis and Jeff can share what are your advices to the businesses out there who are still on the fence to truly adopt digital. So maybe Anis, can you share?
Yeah, to me, this past year of COVID has proved that everyone has to be digital. There's no escaping it, right? It's either you are online or you get left behind. So no one should be on the fence. It should be, okay, we have to be online. What should we do? That's the question, right? It's not, the question is not whether we should be online. It should be, what do we have to do, right? In terms of emails, some tips, I think no matter how small you are, start collecting databases. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. Start collecting emails and build that subscriber list. That's number 1. Number 2, emails should be consistent, right? If you say you're going to send twice a week, make sure it's consistently twice a week. If you can't do twice a week, you're going to say you're going to do it once a week, make sure it's once a week. So it should be really consistent. And the last tip, I would guess, give value. It's not just about sales. Think of email marketing as a long form marketing effort. Don't expect instant results immediately, right? So think of it as building your customer base, building them to be loyal to you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Anis, for your tips. Very, very useful tips for the SMEs out there. And maybe Jeff, can you share a few tips on how to have a continuous engagement and also any advices to all the businesses out there to truly adopt digital?
Yeah, so I echo what Anis has just mentioned. We spoke about jumping on the digital bandwagon and the digital is the future. But to me, I think we are in the future right now. So it's too late if you're saying that I want to go to the future. You got to realize that, right? So if you take that, dissect that one step back, more specific towards the SMEs in our line and engagement, right? One of the key things is always fear. I'm afraid to do this. So do not be afraid. I mean, that's something that you just got to take the first step and do it, because if you don't know how to do it, there are loads of resources online. You can go to Google or you can come up with someone to us and we'll be happy to help, right? So we have designed, I mean, not service providers or platforms like us have designed tools that are dummy proof. It's meant for you to go in, play around with it and make life easier. For example, if you want to do a very nice newsletter, we put in a lot of effort to make sure that you have all the templates that you can use, and so it's you don't need an expert to do that. And secondly, I think it's a matter of a lot of you still have the fear of cost, saying that this is all going to cost me a lot of money, and and I've got to spend a lot of resources into getting all this digital stuff in place. apart from paid advertisements, I think most of the digital tools out there, you can get it for virtually next to nothing. Like you can sign up for free accounts and start getting your journey moving, right? So in Engine Mailer, I guess how we try to address that is we give everyone a free forever account. So for uBC members, you actually get more perks. And so sign up, start doing it, and we'll be happy to help you along the way, right? And you'll find a lot of resources out there. That's my general advice.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeff, and also thank you so much, Anis, for so thanks to both of you for sharing very valuable tips and insights on email marketing and also the digital digital adoption. And I really hope that all of you, have learned a thing or two and will be able to apply it in your daily life and to grow your business. And if you want to learn further on email marketing and creating a highly engaging email marketing, because there's lots of questions on how to make sure that, the email doesn't go to spam and so on, how does it, become more humanized and so on. So we have this free exclusive e-workshop, which is going to happen on the 9th of June. So you can click on the link below and you can register for it. And it's very limited in terms of seats, so please hurry. And for those who are not yet unified, this is the time for you to get connected as well, because we have this special package for all of you. We have this special campaign and promotion for all of you, where you sign up to Unify Biz today from as low as 139 ringgit for 100 meg, and you would automatically be able to enjoy privileges of uBC member. And not only that, you would also be able to stand a chance to win amazing prizes, and including a 4-wheel drive, especially for you to win a 4-wheel drive, and also other attractive gifts as well, like laptops, smartphones, and so on. And from our sign up and drive away campaign. So head on to unify.com.my/business now, all right? And stay on the uBC pages to find out on our latest activities and promos. So till then, please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next Sembang Business. So please take care, and thank you very much again.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Take care. Yeah.